How's it going, everyone? Now, I'm trying to get the audio up and running. This is kind of bugging me out right now because for whatever reason, I'm not hearing any sound. I don't know if this is a glitch on X or whatever is going on right now. But my name is Taj. Those of you that are just tuning in, hopefully this is coming out. I'm trying to tap into the feed right now to make sure that everything is coming through loud and clear. For whatever reason, I am not hearing any audio whatsoever. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what is up. So, if you are tuning in, I would really appreciate it if you drop a little comment or whatever it might be, because for some reason I am not hearing anything. Okay, it looks like now the audio is coming in. So, little technical difficulties, but hey, we are live. As you can tell, this is not scripted. This is not, or rehearsed, I should say, or pre recorded. This is literally straight coming to the feed. So, those of you that are just tuning in for the very first time, my name is Taj. This is the Wolf Bitcoin page. And on Saturday evenings, we like to highlight all the positive things that's happening in the world of Bitcoin. Of course, we're talking about the Good Bit Show, which we highlight the positive, feel good stories that are happening in the region of Bitcoin, of course, not talking about the charts and all those amazing things. But what I'm going to highlight is some positive stories. Then we're going to go to circular economies and the tech that's spreading all of this wonderful technology all around the world and how developers are building things to help to spread Bitcoin adoption. So as you can see right here, what I have on the screen is a very US centric story, which I think is absolutely amazing and worth highlighting in the sense that, of course, we know that the American dream for generations now has been owning a home, right? This is the place you can come from literally any part of society. You could be dead broke, but you dream to own that house with the white picket fence and so forth. And that is the American dream. Of course, the meaning of the American dream has evolved over time, but deep down, every single person really wants to own a piece of home. And in recent times, especially if you're millennials and millennial, you're looking at the prices and you're like, man, these boomers had it so good where you could buy a house for a bologna sandwich and, you could pay this thing off just working a regular job while one income, the other spouse, the wife is home raising kids, whatever it might be. And it's kind of an enviable thing. So what's really interesting with this particular thing is Fannie Mae now accepts crypto backed or mortgages that are backed by, and I have to say crypto because Bitcoin and USDC. But of course, this is the Good Bit Show. We're highlighting all the amazing things that happens within the world of Bitcoin. And those of you that don't know, you can actually get Bitcoin backed mortgages for quite a while now. However, it was not a Fannie Mae thing. Now, those of you that don't know, if you've ever been on any of our spaces, our live streams with even like Milo, that Milo, that's one of the companies that you can actually get a Bitcoin backed loan from, and we work with them, and we always have them on. However, the whole Fannie Mae thing, which is why this is being picked up by Wall Street Journal and all of these amazing things that is now happening, is because the way Fannie Mae works, most people don't even really understand. I only happen to know this because I happened to be a real estate agent back in the day when I was living in New York, but of course, not a mortgage guy. But we had to work with the mortgage guys, understand the whole lending process and so on. So, what Fannie Mae is, also there's Freddie Mac out there, but this one's particular about Fannie Mae. They buy mortgages from the issuer. So, for example, your local credit union, your local bank, maybe you go to a national bank or whoever it might be that gives you the loan to buy that house. Normally, what would happen is Fannie Mae would buy that loan and then they would repackage them up and sell them to investors that want to get into mortgage-backed securities without getting too complicated and so forth, how the financial market works and mortgages and all that stuff. But they buy them from the local bank or the regional bank, national bank, whatever it is, repackage it, sell it to someone who wants to reinvest to it. And that frees up the capital so that the bank down the chain can then loan to people. So it helps to keep the money circulating. Of course, those of us that are Bitcoiners, we know about fractional reserve currencies and all this stuff, how the banking system actually works. Well, Fannie Mae is in the part of it where that helps to keep that money circulating and the loans keep going back out and the revolving credit line, if you will, of the economy. And before now, it wasn't something that Fannie would touch. So, like I said, they have been various companies that were allowing you to put up your Bitcoin as collateral, take out a mortgage, go get your home in various forms or another. But this was not something that Fannie Mae was picking up. And that then limits the pool and the availabilities and the way in which lenders can then issue various mortgages accepting Bitcoin as credit or as collateral, I should say. Therefore, it wasn't as easy. So going forward, now that Fannie Mae is in the business of accepting these things, these collateral backed loans by Bitcoin, you should see, in theory, more lenders are starting to open up, and it's going to make it much easier for the average person that happens to be a Bitcoiner to then turn around and buy a home. So that is really good news. I don't think anyone would ever say that it is not good news to hear that more Americans, more people will be able to buy homes. So I just want to highlight out there. This, of course, what I have on the screen is the Wall Street Journal story. So obviously, this is a big story, right? This is something not just in Bitcoin circles or in Bitcoin Magazine and so on. But if you just go in, you can actually see Wall Street Journal covered this thing. You could just Google it, search it, Fannie Mae Bitcoin-backed mortgages and what that actually means for you. And I highly recommend you just check that out. So I think it's a great thing. So those of you millennials that aren't homers as yet, that might be thinking, man, this thing is getting so far out of reach, but you happen to be sitting on your Bitcoin. Normally, what people would say is like, well, you're going to have to sell your Bitcoin. And well, no, you can actually get a Bitcoin-backed mortgage. And of course, check that out. Now, interesting thing, we'll go on to check out what's going on over here. So as I said, we like to hop around, go to various different things. Of course, this was the actual tweet by Wall Street Journal. Let me close this tab out here. We're going to go and we're going to check Federation Bitcoin. So we like to talk about not only the amazing things that's happening as far as, like the good vibes and charities and all these different things, but education, circular economies, and so forth. And what kind of glues a lot of this in the middle is organizations such as Federation Bitcoin right here that you're going to see that there's various grants. This is actually round 2, which took place a while ago. They had, I think 40 it was in the first round. The second round has 42. But the reason why I'm going to this page in particular, yes, the first round was in 2024. The second round was in 2025. So the third round, I would assume, is coming up. And what they actually do is they help to fund and donate sats to various different community groups. So as you can see here on this list right here, round 2, I really want to highlight this simply because there's a lot of different countries. And of course, these circular economies, these education, not just Bitcoin education, but they do financial education, empowerment on how to run businesses and all sorts of things that actually benefits local communities all around the world. And it's, a lot of times we just think of Bitcoin as being like the privileged few people that are into this thing. We came in early. Now that 20 of the 21 million Bitcoin are already created, like, man, there's just less and less to go around for the next generation. So we're so fortunate to be here. But you know what? It's not just about preserving generational wealth and all these different things. We like to highlight the fact that these education, these opportunities that are extended to all these small communities all around the world, not just the big cities, New York City and London and all the financial hubs, but up in the mountains in Andes, up in the mountains in Kenya and so on, Ethiopia, all of these places all around the world, organizations like this help to support. So just a few of them that came in round 2, we have Afrobit Kibera, which we highlighted multiple times actually on this stream. If you look back at past weeks, you can see that's a group that is in Nairobi, Kenya. And we have more Kenyan groups. We have Nigerian groups, Tanzania, Ghana, Kenya, India, which I should really do some digging and researching, highlight some Indian Bitcoin communities, because there's a huge Bitcoin community out there from India. And of course, in the diaspora, Indians that are around the world. I think that'd be really great to highlight. But as you can see here, Zambia, Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Nigeria, Mozambique, Nigeria, Uganda. And we highlighted Uganda last week, actually. Some interesting things that's happening there as far as the education, different workshops and a class, even graduating, if you will. So a lot of these organizations have come out of incubators and funding projects such as this. So as you can see, there's even more here, but you can check this full list out. It might be hard to see on the screen here, but fbce.io is where you can see this. And then you just go to the BB Grants Round 2 or BB-Grants Round 2. But anyways, just go to that fbce.io and you can see all the amazing things that's happening here. And you can see the full list. Victoria Falls, again, with Zambia, Dominican Republic, Bitcoin Dominicana. We highlight them all the time. We speak about the amazing things that they're doing on the island, doing Zoom calls, educating people, even hopping on a Zoom call with me, and I'm not even in the Dominican Republic. And they were like, "Hey, the leader over there of that organization hopped on. I shouldn't say the leader because it's a community thing. I don't want to make him sound like he's some sort of CEO, but just a member of the community that happens to be a Bitcoiner that's helping his people. Hopped on a Zoom call with me and was like, "Hey, you're over there in Jamaica. This is what I think you could do." And I think that's really interesting that, you have a great opportunity to tap into that. That's where I got that from. So reaching out to people all around the world. And I think it's just absolutely amazing. And as you can see, again, Ghana, Zambia, Burundi, a lot of African organizations. So, I don't think the African Bitcoiners get highlighted as much in Western media and Western pages and, the things that are constantly in the media. However, there's a lot of local things going there. And again, South Africa, Malawi, and all the way down here, yes, Bitcoin, which is in Haiti. And that actually happens to be our next story. It kind of bridges over into all these amazing things. And again, all these different opportunities of how they are funding various projects all around the world. But another one that is really cool that you might want to check out, this Geyser.fund. Geyser.fund. So Geyser Fund is another organization that really, I guess you would say, puts up a great website where you can see all the amazing projects that are all around the world, various things that are happening, and you can sort it out by the type of project that you're looking for. And different Bitcoin projects are being funded by the community. And again, I think this is absolutely amazing. This isn't like a government organization. This is not donations from corporates, banks, and so on. These are people all around the world that are spreading Bitcoin adoption, whether it is donating sats, hosting workshops, helping to set up the tech, the pay to tap POS systems and small businesses, all of these different things. Everyone has a part to play. So whether you are a developer building those apps that are on the ground, you are an educator, you're just a volunteer. I shouldn't say just a volunteer. You are a volunteer living in one of these communities that are impacted and you want to go out. I mean, there is ways for you to tap in. So anyways, Geyser Fund is a way that actually is helping to fund and raise money for various projects. And if you go to this, you can actually sort out and see what's going on. You can see how much has been raised. You tap into a particular one. You can see, okay, let's say Bitcoin babies. What is going on here? There's 65 contributors so far. 38 people are following this. So if you've ever used a GoFundMe or anything of that nature, it will kind of remind you of that, where there's various projects, various causes, if you will. You can see how many backers or contributors are there. And you can also see the amount that has been funded so far. So right here, you see 9.7 million sats, which would be about $4,716 at this point. But you can then, the cool thing is, so if you're wondering like, how on God's earth does he find all of these communities? Well, usually it's on X. So once you fall into the rabbit hole of Bitcoin circular economies and Bitcoin educational communities and so forth, like you'll notice that they're following each other. And the cool thing with this Geyser Fund is it will show you the X profile for that particular project. So if you just click that, you go over there. By the way, I'm trying this live. Hopefully it doesn't embarrass me on this and crash. But yeah, see, as you can go here, this is one that I have never seen before today. You can actually then just go in and check it. And by the way, the reason why I click this is I just like the animated imagery, and it says Bitcoin babies, and like a little alliteration, double B's. Let me see what's going on here. Happens to be in Kenya. So as you scroll around this, again, I'm not going to go into all the details of this particular project because, like I said, this is the first time I'm actually landing on this one and seeing what's going on here. Today, we visited this organization and going on, and just kind of, you can click this one and say, yeah, this organization, what's going on here? Oh, it's another one. This one's in El Salvador. So again, this is how you find these people. This is how you find these organizations. And going back here, let's say Bitcoin babies. And like, what else do I want to look for? Just a little tip, by the way, if you want to go down this rabbit hole, is see who they're following. And I spoke about Pedro from Bitcoin Dominicana earlier. Well, guess what? This is the fellow that hopped on a call and showed me exactly how I can have certain ideas and various things. And as you can see, going through this right here, just go back to the main page. Yeah, you can see the details about it. what the project is. It says Bitcoin babies, you're nurturing the future one block at a time. Of course, everybody has their little slogan and it just explains what the organization is doing, what they're trying to accomplish. And of course, if you go over to their social media, you can actually see what they're up to, the latest, because most of these times they put up these pages and they're not really updated in real time. However, if you go to their social media page, see what's actually happening, you can then see what's going on, whether it is orphanages, is educational programs, lots of community projects that help people to put their skills to use or even sharpen their skills to then go out and better their community. And of course, they're all Bitcoiners, and it's just a beautiful thing. So, anyways, going back to this Geyser Fund page, because you can, like I said, you can scroll through, and a lot of these communities I often mention on this show, they are in this. They have been funded by various things. I always talk about my first Bitcoin or my premier Bitcoin. Again, still not doing my Duolingo. However, I just wanted to, see, highlight and show you that right here, you can see that there are lots of organizations that they're well connected and they're going through this Geyser Fund. A lot of these organizations that I have spoken about actually were incubated by donations through the Geyser Fund. And I think it's just really worth your time to go check that out. I speak about it all the time. However, I think it's just great that you just go there yourself. And I want to bring this up on screen. And you can see right here what's going through this organization. Like I said, Premier Bitcoin is a lot. Over 118,000, called 119,000 US dollars worth of sats, which obviously the sats is what we're more concerned about, is the 321 million sats, not 321 million Bitcoin, because obviously that's craziness. That works out to 100 million Bitcoin, or 100 million sats per Bitcoin. Therefore, these 321 million sats would be about 3.2 Bitcoin, have been donated and contributed by 878 contributors. So it goes to 30,000 students have been educated, 500 teachers. So it's like a multiplication effect, right? Those 500 teachers were once students, they learn, they turn around, they go out, they share Bitcoin with others, and this thing keeps going. I am pretty sure that they'll get to 1,000 and this will get to 100,000 much quicker than it was to get this number up to 100, because it compounds, right? It's exponential growth, right? It's multiplication. So I think that's just really cool. Just go check that out. Again, this is geyser.fund. If you're not familiar with it, GEYSER.fund. And you can check out all of these amazing projects. Bitcoin Berlin, which is in El Salvador. I highlighted them multiple times on this show as well. This is a great place to find a lot of those resources. So let's hop over here. This is a project that was on that list. I said I was going to get there, which is Yes Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin Haiti, I think, is a very interesting one because Haiti has a very, very interesting history and place in the Western society. So the Western world, if you will. I highly recommend, if you're a history person, look up the history of Haiti when they got their independence from France and how it just derailed their economy and set them back literally generations. There's some interesting things that are happening with Bitcoin thanks of that. Like, so I'm not focusing on all that stuff and all the negative stuff. We're focusing on the positive things right here. So Bitcoin is giving people the opportunity, individual people that can go out and they can educate their people. They can do all these amazing things, and they're doing this through Bitcoin. They were one of the projects that was funded through this. And of course, what happened here, you see education, adoption, and empowerment, and it all starts with education. So I think that is absolutely great that this one is taking place. Like, Haiti's not too far from here, right in the Caribbean. But as you can see, there's videos, there's various images, there's things that are going on with the community. You can see what is going on. And I think it's just absolutely amazing that, again, these aren't like these multi-million-dollar operations giving away Lamborghinis and all these things. These are regular people all around the world that are learning about Bitcoin. They are doing all sorts of amazing things. And I think it is absolutely amazing that we get to highlight this stuff and share this with you. And if you're interested in donating to this stuff, again, you can either go through the Geyser Fund, you can go through one of these other projects or pages, whatever touches you in your heart. And hey, maybe you'll be one of the people that I end up highlighting on the show as someone who is doing great things with your sats. You might end up here. But what I wanted to highlight too is if you look right here, there's a couple things that I've spoken about. I have mentioned in the past on the show, but I'm going to really highlight it right now. Number one, you can see right here, they have all their socials. So X is where you're going to find most of these communities, where you're going to find most of these projects. However, most people that are on X don't know that there is Nostr, and Nostr is a, how do I simplify this? This is a decentralized social network. So unlike with, if you have your handle on Instagram, you have your handle on X or YouTube, whatever platform that you might be on, right? Each one you have to secure it. But the thing with Nostr, have these decentralized social economy, decentralized social networks. I'm so used to saying economies because I'm talking about Bitcoin circular economies. How these how these decentralized social media networks actually work is you just secure your name, your credentials, if you will, and whoever builds an app, it's the same credentials and login that you're going to use across it. You own that username in the sense that, so Primal, which is the Twitter lookalike, if you will, the X clone, that is their social media, but also, as you can see, instead of using Google Maps, they have BTC Maps. You can find their organization on there, but I'm going to hop over to their page over on Primal. So if you've never heard of Nostr, this is one of the ways, the interfaces that you can interact with Nostr. Now, you can do that through a lot of wallets. So a lot of these Lightning wallets has a Nostr integration. But what I think is just really cool is, yes, Bitcoin Haiti is on Primal, and you can see this is their page right here. So if you're not an X person, let's say you are a YouTube person, you're tapping in from YouTube, but you don't really want to go on whatever platform, well, maybe this is one that you could check out, decentralized social network, and check out what they're doing. They're highlighting all their amazing things and they're sharing. And once you go down here, talk about going down the rabbit hole, once you come onto Primal, these are all Bitcoiners, right? So as far as Nostr goes, to be honest, there are very few people that I've come in contact with that aren't Bitcoiners that are on Nostr. And that's just the ecosystem in which you can really see some interesting things, because what you can do, you can tip creators using Lightning, and everything is set up right there. So there's functionality to send sats. You can donate. You can support various groups, causes, whatever it might be. You can do that. It's built into the system right here. So anyways, I just want to highlight that. So kind of bridging, again, the educational side, the circular economies, and the tech, because most people don't even know that this is out there. So if you're looking for Bitcoin only content, social media, most likely this is a place that you need to be, because these people are Bitcoiners. You can hop around and there's no algorithm per se. It is who you're following. So you curate your experience based on the various pages and creators and interests that you have. Just follow them and then it curates your feed. There's also mobile too. So it works on iOS, it works on iPhone. And yeah, so with that said, I think that kind of covers all of the different things that I, wanted to highlight as far as with Bitcoin Haiti, what's going on, or I should say, yes, Bitcoin, which is in Haiti, and all the amazing projects, if you will, that is around the world. And I thought it was just absolutely amazing this week that we kicked off with the US side of things. Of course, those of you that are looking for a house and you have some Bitcoin and you don't want to sell your Bitcoin, you don't have to. You can you can borrow. You can take out a mortgage, use your Bitcoin as collateral. And obviously, as the money is devaluing and inflating, the prices of houses are going up. But guess what? Your Bitcoin is also going up in value. So rather than selling your Bitcoin, you can just borrow against it. And you can use that as collateral as you're earning your fiat, assuming that you have a job or whatever it might be. You pay off that loan and so on, and you still have your Bitcoin for the future. And now the beautiful thing about it is Bitcoin-backed loans are now supported by Fannie Mae. So we kind of covered the spectrum, went all over the world. But those of you that are just tuning in, like I said, my name is Taj. This is Wolf Bitcoin. Every single Saturday evening, we have these positive, feel-good stories all about Bitcoin. And those of you that have never seen the show, I highly recommend that you check it out, check the replay, show this to your friends. And if there's anything that you would like to have highlighted. Let's say you have a positive story that no one necessarily knows about. I would highly appreciate it. Just drop us a message and you can let us know. And I really appreciate that. You reposted the stream there, Salty. I really, really appreciate that because I think that these are the type of things, especially in these times when charts might be a little bit red, that once you uplift people, say, you know what, this is why we're here. This is why we're Bitcoiners and we're helping people all around the world. So let's spread the good vibes. Let's get other people into this thing. And love to hear from you guys. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, any ideas for stories that you think I should highlight, let me know. And as usual, tune into the spaces and streams. Cade will be on live tomorrow evening with nice content for you lovely people, whether it's spaces that you're into, live streams, there's posts, there's everything that we do, all centered around Bitcoin here on the Wolf Bitcoin page. And if you're into traditional finance and all those other things, trading, stocks, bonds, check out Wolf Trading, check out Wolf Financial. And my name is Taj. I will see you guys later. As usual, thank you for spending this time with me.